This season has really been like a wild ride from start to finish. The first week has been ups and downs of a roller coaster. It's actually really crazy. I'm going to walk you through all of that in a second, but I want to lead this conversation off with my first set of stats. All right. So if you guys didn't know, I have a spreadsheet of every run I document, every run from the channel in this spreadsheet, and we have added some new criteria and some new filters or whatever. We are now adding every actual spec as well, not just class. You can take a look at this. I think this is very interesting because it's one of the most common like stat related questions is like, have you seen many outlaw rogues instead of assassination? And I think all of those stats are there now. So big play.1 / mythic library has all that. I'm just going to read to you now my actual stats. This is going to set the stage. I think this is a very important conversation here. Finished 88.37% of the keys. There's only been 5 disbands total. I've run 43 keys. That's 11.6% disband rate. So that's very, very, very good. In terms of depleted keys, we actually have more depleted keys than we have upgraded keys. Not a good start. 51% not upgraded keys, 22 out of 43 keys. And I think a lot of this gets kind of misunderstood when we have this kind of stat here because there's no incentive for me to go run Mists to Turn a Scythe again after we upgrade it. Like it's the easiest dungeon in the world and I can run that 100 times and we're going to upgrade it every time. You know what I mean? I've been working on keys that we actually need. I've yet to upgrade on any level City of Threads and Stone Vault. Not upgraded them once. We had one that was close on Stone Vault. I have yet to try City of Threads again in a while, so we'll be back to that hopefully Monday because I do want to try to get some score. Luckily, sub 10, you can still get score for non-upgraded keys. Then, in terms of the other dungeons, Mr. Turn Scythe, 0 depletions, 7 runs, all upgrades. Similar in the way with our Kara, we had 1 completion, non-upgrade, and then 3 upgrades, so 4 runs total. We only missed Dawnbreaker by about 2 minutes maybe. We had Dawnbreaker 10, we just missed it. So that would have been our first 10 upgraded. We have 4 completions on 10s now, no upgrades whatsoever, but we do have mostly 9s upgraded. So we're still working on that. I think the biggest concern this season is the new affix situation, and I don't know. I don't want to keep bringing this up, but like, what do you guys think about it? Do you think this is working? Like, I talked a lot about this on stream, and to me, this is just far harder than the affixes we had before. Now, the new affix thing that we have at level 2, whatever the thing with the orbs, is actually going great. I would say this is going very well. Everybody's actually working on it too. Like, I don't think I've been in a group yet. Not a single group at any level is just ignoring them, which is really good because we have multiple videos on this channel of things like afflicted or explosive totally ignored. Like the DPS cannot be bothered with it. Prevailing notion about why this is happening is because a lot of people are actually looking to get the DPS buff from it. You have to get it done, right? Like why not? So you must care about this. I also do think that it's an easier affix for most classes to handle without having to change anything about how they're playing. Like you're already AoE interrupting things in Mythic Plus, so it's more natural than say a single dispel from a class that doesn't normally dispel. But this is like everybody's knocking things back, everybody's disrupting things. Like this is very normal, and I think some classes really dominate it. Like I feel like Monk might actually be the best at it because they have Ring of Peace, which is just an instant giant AoE ring, so you can hit every single one with it, I'm imagining, very easily. So yeah, some classes absolutely dominate it, and I think no class does poorly at it. Anyway, I think it's working well, this one. I mean, we'll see the other ones, but I have to remind everybody that we got affixes back on bosses again, and even though it was promptly fixed, this caused a lot of problems with Stitch Flush Encounter. I think a lot of people look at that fight as very difficult. They did do some nerfs. They made the healing requirement way easier. In the past, that fight was hard if you ever failed to use the weapons. I've spoke to a lot of people who are saying, why is this fight so much harder than I remember it? It's because the weapons were overpowered as shit back in the day. Like I can't even pull my punches on this. They would actually just kill the boss for you. And now I honestly do think if you use all 6 weapons, it's the equivalent of using 1 spear back in the day. That doesn't sound good when you say it that way, but that is good because there's no reason to use them on anything else. The dungeon's actually very easy, and for some reason the second boss is like way easier than I ever remember it being. I don't know if that's going to change as we get harder and harder. I mean obviously it will, because the reason it was hard in the past was it was very hard to gather and kill the ads before he would make them explode. So I don't know if something actually changed there, but it feels like you do not have any stress on this front now. I remember having to mind control them. I remember having to CC them. I remember having to stun them, because a pro tip on that fight, if you stun them when he casts, for some reason they do not explode. And this is true with any type of disruption that would impair them, I believe. So not even just stun, but like blind. Yeah, but anyway, the dungeon's very easy, and if you can get past that 3rd boss, which they have now given us plenty of options to do, it's very straightforward. And I would say that dungeon, is on the precipice of being one of the easiest keys but I think a lot of people are just not saving all the weapons for it and not taking that serious. So this is a very good dungeon for having your best single target build. We had a guy switch. He actually parsed from marksman to BM in the middle of the dungeon, and he did enormous amounts of single target DPS on that fight, and we one-phased it, like killed it before he even jumped back up, which is huge. Yeah, anyway, I do think that the dungeon pool is incredibly imbalanced. Like I said before, I have yet to upgrade 2 dungeons at all. This is kind of reminding me a lot of Season 1 of Dragonflight, but in the opposite direction, where in Season 1 of Dragonflight, you had 2 extremely easy dungeons, and then everything else was some degree harder to the point where it was significantly harder. Right now, we have the opposite. We basically have 6 very easy dungeons. You know, Eric Harris' timer is absurd. Dawnbreaker is absurd. These can have multiple minutes taken off them, and they would still be easy. Misted Turn of Scythe is just kind of easy, although the last boss is still always going to be difficult for people. Necrotic Wake, very, very easy outside of the 3rd boss, which I just told you guys how to beat that easily. Siege of Paralysis timer is very generous. The only thing that sucks about that dungeon is the count situation. I have no idea how they managed to mess this up so bad, but you basically need an Invis pot. This is the first time in years, I think, that you significantly need an Invis pot to get under count. Unless I'm missing something about it. Maybe that'll change. And then Grim Patrol is awesome. I think Grim Patrol is the best dungeon right now. It's the most complete dungeon. It's hard, and that's good. That's a good thing. I do not think there's any wall bosses. Like, I think Grim Patrol actually has the best bosses out of all 8 dungeons right now. Dawnbreaker has made me rage multiple times now. People in and around my house keep asking me why I'm yelling. Dawnbreaker is very frustrating in terms of pulling, but I have figured out a very good route. The last one we did, I think we got exactly 100% count, which I'm very proud of. Yeah, we had all kinds of absurd moments in there where we had a guy like land in the wrong spot. This is a big issue with this dungeon because it's very easy to just not follow the tank. Like, very easy. He literally landed in a different spot and then just mounted back up, or never got off his mount. I don't really know which. What'd that guy just say?
Wasn't necessary.
Why I'm getting lost HP. It's called taking damage. Pretty common. That's how the game works. Like, what kind of question is that? What is happening right now? My character just falling through the air. Why lose HP? Heal. Did they just land and aggro the trash again? This is gonna be the worst dungeon ever. Why are we still in combat? That's a joke. This is a joke, bro. It's not stopped, dude. The trash, if you guys don't understand what's happening here, the trash has aggroed the NPCs. Like, that's the mini boss, so we have no choice but to engage that. The dungeon's, like, it's over. We're gonna lose the key over this. Like, we're gonna not be able to finish this, and we probably know we're gonna lose. Whoever aggroed all this extra shit when they landed, not only did a bad mistake, but like you made the dungeon impossible now. That's the dungeon that we're playing right now. Yeah, that was a really funny run. There's not been that many crazy moments. The elephant in the room, the death affix. I don't know, you know, they obviously balance keys around it. That could be interesting because, like I said, we keep talking about timers, and it does look like some of these timers are just like wow, what is going on here? Like, they're very, very, very easy. And it makes you wonder what Blizzard's average death count for these dungeons to be successful is in their mind. Like, if you're supposed to upgrade a 10, how many deaths are just too much? You know what I mean? Because obviously we talked about this a lot, but you know, should we bring this back up? I'm almost actually scared to bring this back up, but yes, double-digit deaths are very common in World of Warcraft. You know, I don't know. This doesn't really seem fair to me, dude. Deaths are already punishing, and especially as a pug player, they're a huge morale hit at times. That's the punishment. People don't like to die. Nobody wants to be dead, and if you're dead, you can't do DPS. You have to run back. You lose your food buff. Like, all of these things are already punishment. Big unfortunate situation here where, you know, they basically took easy affixes out of the game. Were they annoying? I mean, yeah, obviously, dude. Nobody loves Sanguine, but I think Blizzard had nerfed them to such a degree that you really were, this was a monkey's paw situation here. We don't want these easy mode nerfed affixes that you guys are trying to give us. We want something new, and here's what we got. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. So now I want to talk about my wild roller coaster ride of a week. If you didn't experience it with me, I've been streaming like 6 to 8 hours a day, every day up until yesterday. Today's my first day not streaming. Like I said, I'm gonna go play golf. Let me walk you through what has gone on. We started the runs, triple upgrades. Now this is important. Like, there's context here, okay? This is important because when we were preparing for this expansion, Grawl, great guy, love the dude. he made a video on my spreadsheet, basically, not really, but he made a video talking about topics that my spreadsheet would help elucidate, showing my season 1 of Dragonflight with failed single digit keys. Okay. And I had not even realized that that had happened, like non-upgraded sixes and stuff from season 1 of Dragonflight. So when you see that, you're like, oh, whoa, this is a big deal, because those keys are not even in the game anymore now, right? If you're not aware, all single digit keys were compressed into Mythic 0. So Mythic 0 was supposed to be that difficulty level where I had actually failed to succeed in, right? So you would think like, whoa, we're starting off, this is going to be rough. Like a 2 is going to be really hard based on that. And I don't know what Blizzard did, but it is not even close. Like, oh my God, is it bad in terms of the opposite of that? Like, I don't know if this was their intention to make it hard, but if they intended to make it hard, they failed like horribly, dude. Zeros were a total joke. Like they were easier than zeros have ever been. And I do think a lot of this is because of the gear upgrading system. Like they accidentally, or maybe they did it on purpose, I have no idea, but they basically gave us a system where you can upgrade your gear like dramatically higher than normal. Like you would never get this power from this content, right? You can get like 620 gear from a heroic or from a mythic 0 or something. I don't know the numbers. I'm terrible with numbers, but you know what I'm saying. You can do a dungeon. It's normally going to get 593. But because of the upgrade system, you could turn that item into something way, way stronger. So that is like you're over gearing the content, right? And normally this wouldn't be a thing because you wouldn't bother upgrading gear from heroic dungeons like we did. But because we had no way to do any mythic dungeons the first 2 weeks, we all did. We all upgraded our heroic gear because that currency is useless. Like there's no reason to keep it now. It doesn't help us upgrade the Mythic Plus gear. So we all put our currency into heroic, which is genius. Genius, by the way, this is amazing. This is like the biggest thing I can praise Blizzard for. But in so doing, they basically nerf their own content to the ground. Like I'm talking about zeros, I like could solo them when they first came out. I didn't even get a single piece of gear from them, right? And then we did delves all last week, so we're getting gear that's hero track. And I have multiple hero track pieces going into this week. And I'm getting gear that I don't even need because I already have the delve gear. You know what I mean? Like I'm doing a 9 and a 10, and I'm not getting upgrades. This is unheard of. This is a very, very, very different environment. And I don't know if it's mostly the gearing or what, but I'm trying to walk you through this because, like I said, I expected to fail. Especially when Grawl made that video, I was like, wait, this is going to be brutal. So I expected to fail, and I did not even come close to failing. Zeros were a joke. And then we did a 2, blew the doors off it. Like it was so easy. I was like, is this actually Mythic Plus? I thought it was bugged, right? I said that on stream. Next key, triple upgrade that. And we're in a 7, like hour 2. You know what I mean? And so I'm doing the 7. And I'm like, wow, what a joke season this is going to be. And people were like, oh my God, there's already top streamers. They're in 10s right now. I'm going to be bathing in Mythic gear. They're going to overflow the vault. Blizzard's going to question me for breaking the game. You know, that's how like I'm feeling. I'm feeling this euphoric feeling of like mastery because I expected this serious difficulty and it's just not even remotely there. Okay. And then we get to City of Threads. This is the 7 I did. We spent an hour and a half in City of Threads, hour 2. So within 3 hours of the season starting, I already been in one dungeon for an hour and a half. And it was like, like I walked into a pole. Like, you know what I mean? Like I just got hit in the face. And it was like, whoa, what is going on here? So then I'm like, well, 7s are impossible. Like that was my knee-jerk reaction. It's like we figure out that it's just City of Threads, right? Or Palace of Threads, as Harry might say. We then start doing other dungeons, and we start identifying that some dungeons are way easier than others. So now I'm like, all right, well, just do my own key, right? Because like typically I don't ever do my own key. I hate doing my own key, but it's easy to potentially get to the max level because nobody's going to invite you to their 10, right? Like there's a million people just trying to skip the line. If you have a 10, you're going to have 500 people sign up. So I'm like, let's just go get a 10. So now I'm figuring out like, oh, wow, dude, just avoid these dungeons. We get Eric Cara, bro. We get some guy who's like, I think he might own Blizzard. He did like 1.6 million overall. We double upgraded a 9. The first upgrade of a 9, double upgraded it. Eric Cara, okay? I get City of Threads 11. Okay, like we're just riding this roller coaster, dude. Like, I can't believe how easy this is. This is impossible. I can't believe how great of an idea it is to push my own key. this system sucks. So I lower it, right? I lower it all the way back down to 8 because at this point I had not upgraded a 9 prior to this group. So I'm thinking, well, this guy's not, he's an outlier. We're not going to keep running into title players pugging 9s. So we do an 8, okay? We're just failing 8s. Like just check, check, check. And it's like Necrotic Wake and dungeons that I think are easy. But we're running into these problems where people are saying like, the third boss of Necrotic Wake is impossible. He's too fat. I can't punch through him. Dude, what's real and what's not real here at this point? Like I'm totally lost. And we keep turning in our key and trying to upgrade it. And it goes all the way back down to 5 at one point, dude. We battled from like 5 to 10 backwards and forward, and it was just a total mess. And then we get the key back to 10, and guess what I get this time? Stone Vault. It's just a wild ride. And I'm like saying to myself, like, we're 4 days in at this point. I still haven't even entered a 10. I sign up to 10s, and people like they send me like, you won't ever be invited to my key, you shitter. Like that's what I'm getting told by these people. That's how bad it's going, right? I have no hope of doing a 10 unless it's my key. That's the way I'm feeling at this point. And we keep getting the 2 dungeons that just won't be done. Like I'm not even going to try these because they're so hard that I do not expect people to want to stay for the multiple hours that it's going to take, right? And then just an epiphany. Like we finally get invited to Grim Patrol 10, and it's like the dam breaks. You know that feeling where it's like all of a sudden I'm a god again. Like I can finish the 10. So it's like, and then you just have this confidence, and now it's 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. Everything's easy mode. 9s are a joke. I'm not doing pissant 9s, you freaking idiots. Why would I waste my time in a 9? I'm a 10 player now, And it's just this, just up and down and up and down. I've never felt this way before. I've never experienced this before. And I think this is probably the season with the biggest, the imbalance of the dungeons caused so much havoc. And I think just the deaths and the situation with the timers is just madness. Like it really is madness. Like you're flying through this dungeon, dude. We get to the second half of a split of a dungeon, and you have 20 United States minutes left, dude. Like, how could you possibly fail with 20 minutes left, right? And then people die 3 times, and it's like, oh, we have 15 minutes left all of a sudden. Like, it's crazy, dude. Like, the deaths could swing a key so fast, and the momentum just flips, like dives, like you feel like it's like you ever watch basketball, dude? It's like watching that. Like my team's up by 20. Oh, they just went on a 21-0 run. We're losing now. Like that's exactly what it feels like. Oh, cool. The Grim Patrol Trash just literally killed like 9 people in a minute and a half, and we lost 5 minutes. You know what I mean? Like we went from having 20 minutes to 10 minutes. Yeah, it's crazy, dude. I don't know, man. I'm loving it though. I mean, as you see, I mean, this is passion, and I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it right now. All I know is it's been a wild ride, and I'd love to hear how your guys' season has gone. I don't know if I'm way behind not having upgraded 10s. If you guys are pugging and you're having no problem with it, I think there's a lot of dungeons that are very easy. And like I said, if we can get into these dungeons, we would be in really good shape. But yeah, I don't know if it's just blood DK or what, but just like not really getting invites right now. So I think we got up to 2293. We're very, very close to 2300. So Monday we will hit 2300. And like I said, I think we have all 9s upgraded besides we did upgrade 9 Grim Patrol, which is actually a really good accomplishment in my eyes. And then we just have Stone Vault. We can't upgrade that. I tried that on 9. And then we haven't done City of Threads in a while, so I'm going to do that again, hopefully on 9. In terms of currency, I'm like halfway through the cap, which is great as well. I have to really commend Blizzard on giving us that extra week where we couldn't really get the mythic currency because now we basically have 2 weeks of cap. So it really, really encourages us to do a lot of dungeons this week. And so I kind of made some weird decisions. I crafted my weapon early, which was not really the best idea, but as the blacksmith, I'm just going to recraft it next week. But I used both sparks on that because I was really frustrated. Gearing has been abysmal, by the way. I still have multiple like veteran pieces or whatever. Like I just have not been able to upgrade these pieces from Mythic Plus. But I did get the Throngus vibrator trinket. So that's just amazing. I love that thing. But yeah, absolutely. Just wow ride. So let me know what you guys think. See you tomorrow on the stream, hopefully. And then next week, Tuesday through Friday, again, we're going to hit it hard. So thank you for watching, guys. We'll see you guys in the next video.